All right. Good morning. Just wait here a couple of minutes here for folks to join us before we get started. All right. I'm going to go ahead and display our risk disclosure. Good morning, Amit. Good morning, Tracy. Good morning, Ethel, Will. All right. Let's go ahead and get started, guys. So again, just want to remind everyone that the content that's being published and distributed by the market trader and its affiliates is to be treated as general information only. None of the information provided by the company or contained herein is intended as investment advice and offer to buy, sell, recommend, endorse, sponsor any security, company, or fund. Again, the information contained is to be used at your own risk, and the company, its partners, reps, agents, employees, contractors assume no responsibility or liability for any use or misuse of this information. We all understand that future trading does carry a fair amount of risk, and an investor could potentially lose all or more of their investment capital. Only risk capital should be used when trading, and only those individuals with sufficient risk capital should consider trading. Again, nothing contained herein is a solicitation to offer, buy, sell futures, options, or forex. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. Okay, so now that we've gotten the risk disclosure out of the way here, guys, I'll go ahead and move to the portal with news portal. Okay, financial is what I use, and basically we're going to take a look and see what news is in the horizon that could potentially impact our ability to trade the markets. Okay. So we've already received some ADP employment reports. We have some other reports here that have already been posted. We have slight decline in U.S. GDP. Core PCA prices was up. We have pending home sales coming in today at 10 a.m. We have crude oil inventories coming in at 10:30 today. And then as far as earnings go, we have Meta or Facebook reporting earnings today after the bell. Microsoft reporting Q1 2024 earnings again after the bell. So again, this week is a big week for a lot of the earnings reports here. Okay. So now that we have a view of the news and what's on the horizon, I guess the biggest one coming up is the pending home sales. Could easily impact the markets, and then obviously the EIA crude oil inventory report for those who trade crude oil is a news event that could easily change the market. Okay, let's move on here. So we'll open up our trade window here and we'll start reviewing the charts. Okay. All right. So now that I have the charts up, took a little overnight trade here, guys. So we'll go ahead and remove some of this drawings. We're going to go ahead and move into the gold market. Okay. Moving into the gold market, we'll go ahead and open this up here. All right. We'll remove as much of our indicators as we can here. When I look at the higher time frame, I'm not really too interested in these indicators. Okay, it gives me kind of a fresh outlook on things. So we're going to start off with the daily. You're welcome, Shark Trends. We're going to start off with the daily here. Okay, and again, similar view that we've had over the last few days on this market. It appears that the market is still very much bullish. We're coming into this area now, and I'm kind of seeing that this is kind of completing a 100% extension of a swing here. And I'm gonna confirm that here in a moment. So I'm going to use my trend-based tool. I'm going to select a level here, click on the top of the swing, and bring this back down. So here we are, this 2800 level, okay, 2808, actually it looks like 2828, okay, is going to be an important level. We've already reached the 61.8% swing of this, and now we're headed, what I feel like is going to be toward this 2828 level before we see any sort of, in my humble opinion, before we see any significant turnaround. Okay, this area right here seems like an area where price could potentially reverse away from a bit. Okay, I'm not necessarily saying that it's going to be a complete sell-off. What I am saying is that we could come back and maybe retrace back to a prior level of resistance. Okay, so that's kind of on what I'm seeing on the daily chart. A very much a bullish market. So we're going to go ahead and move into the 4-hour chart. Okay, 4-hour chart is telling us a similar story here. We had some development here of a bullish, bearish engulfing candle that has since been rejected. Okay, it came down to settlement and now is still bearish, but with a buying wick below it. Okay, we see some weakness on the positive DI and some increase in strength in the negative DI here. You guys can see that, I hope. Right. So volume delta, slightly negative, but with a relatively strong, again, buying wick below it. Okay. So moving on to the 30-minute chart. Okay, 30-minute chart. Here we are. Again, we're kind of above or working to get above some of the levels that we care about. Let's see if I can get my mouse here. My arrow is what I'm looking for here. So we see that the ADX indicator has kind of been, momentum has been kind of waning, and you can see here with price is equally the case. We're starting to see that the positive DI is picking up a little bit of momentum. Really hasn't translated to the momentum indicator, ADX indicator, just as yet. We have a positive delta. So again, it appears that price wants to, continue in this upward swing. Okay. Let's go ahead and start opening up some of our levels here. So we had a nice reaction off of ADR here. Okay, we came up to ADR and have reversed away from it. Okay, let's go ahead and open up our fixed range volume profile. I'm going to locate the bar from Tuesday. Okay, so let's see, right there, and then we'll drag this across to 1330 here. So you can see that price really just came down to retest value. Okay, and basically found buyers here. Okay, so we got a nice, kind of 3-bar reversal pattern here with this retest. Okay, so price is above value, price is above our settlement price, price is working to get above our daily VWAP. Okay, so where to draw my anchor VWAP? Well, I'm going to go ahead and draw my anchor VWAP on this little pivot that happened here at the start of London. Okay, so again, if we are going to remain in this bearish structure, I would not expect price to get above this anchor VWAP, nor would I expect it to get above this daily VWAP. If price does indeed close above, okay, and maybe even potentially break some price structure to the left here, then that could lead to another leg higher in this market. Okay, so a couple of price events I need to see before I embrace that is what I just said. Okay, I need price to get above the daily VWAP. I need price to get above the anchor VWAP, and then that could lead me to further embrace this move to the upside. Okay, so let's go ahead and locate our spreadsheet here so that we can add our levels. All right, so let's locate our levels, and then we'll go ahead and add those to our charts here. So level here. All right, here we are. We'll go ahead and paste this up here. Okay, so here are our levels that we'll be tracking. All right, we're just going to spot check some of these. So value area high coming in at 2783.8. 27 value area 2783 dot. I got it at .3, but that's close enough for government work. Okay. Average daily range high, that's coming in at 2802. Okay. Average session range high, which I have yet to add here. Okay, this is Asia, so let's move this to at least to London. Okay, so at London we have 2811 is kind of the top end of the range here. So let's modify that. So 2811.30, and then what is our average session range low? Move this over to the side here. 2787. 2787 is our average session range low. I think there's actually .3 as well. So let's see, modify that. Okay, so these are the ranges that we're kind of tracking in this market. All right, right now we're responding off of 80 ASR and settlement price. Why London when New York is well? New York is technically open with the equities. So I use London to start because, as you can see here, if I do modify this to London or to New York, these levels are going to adjust lower. Okay, right? So that's why I'm using London. Okay, this doesn't make any sense, does it? Does it make sense that we have a average session range that's below price? That's why I use London, because this will adjust with the open of the equities. Okay, that's why I use London. Okay. All right. Let's see. We'll go ahead and adjust that back for now. Like I said, I expect that to adjust with the open of the equities. Okay. So for now, I'm going to temporarily add it to London here. And you can see here that we got a nice reaction away from this ASR low, and we got a nice reaction away from settlement price. So for now, I would say that my view on this, and we'll go ahead and open up initial balance. My view on this is that we should expect further upside in gold. Like I said, if I draw my little channel here, well, the last bit of evidence that I need that we could potentially head higher is a break of channel to the upside. That's the last piece of evidence that I need before I would embrace the longs. Okay. All right. Let's see. I think that's pretty much what I wanted to share here. If I'm looking short, which would be kind of super for me, kind of counter trend, we need to wait for some of these extreme levels, right? We need to wait for price to get maybe potentially back up to ADR level or up to ASR, something along those lines. Those are probably the areas that I could potentially fade. Okay. Not really keen on fading a market that's looking quite bullish at the moment. Okay. All right. Before I move on to the crude oil market, I see that we have about 25 or so participants, but we have about 50% in the like, which is reasonable. I mean, I can live with that, I guess. But I just want to remind everyone that don't hesitate to hit the like button. All right. If what I'm sharing with you does resonate, hit the subscribe button if you want to be alerted of when I do come online. And then don't be afraid to comment, as these postings make themselves available in YouTube and other locations. Again, this is kind of the lifeblood for a content provider, is really just we're just asking you to hit the like buttons, because that's kind of how we get potentially compensated. Okay. All right. Enough of me trying to in my pitch here. Okay. Moving on to the crude oil market. All right. So crude oil market, we're going to go ahead and take a look at that a little bit more closely here. Let's go ahead and expand this. If it wants to expand, we're going to go ahead and remove some of our drawings. We're going to remove some of our levels that we're tracking, including the overlay. Don't need that at the moment. And good morning, Jeff. Okay. So it looks like we're going to start off with the daily chart. Okay, daily chart. We're going to move to the daily chart, and just again, we don't trade the daily chart. But we want to understand where we are in reference to the daily chart. Okay. No worries. I do appreciate that. I'm not super comfortable in soliciting folks to support me. Okay. I'd rather have my work speak for itself and have people naturally gravitate to that conclusion. Okay. So here we go. So on the daily chart, again, we've been kind of in this, a bearish channel to the downside. You can see that we've been sloping lower, and we've reached an area, okay, that it appears to be supportive. Okay, so I'm just gonna. I think I've marked this level before, but I'll mark it again. But this area to me seems supportive. Okay. We do have this kind of head and shoulder pattern. I think I might have identified. Looks like this is the left shoulder, this is the right shoulder, and this is the head. Okay. So I don't know if this pattern, I suspect this pattern is going to tell us if we break the neckline, then the distance from the neckline to the head is kind of where we can anticipate price to go. Okay. That's kind of how I understand the head and shoulder pattern to work. Now, generally, we have a gap, right, that opened up here that we have yet to fill. Okay, so I would say that we probably, if we do follow that pattern, we'll probably end up filling that gap first before we make any sort of move, because any gap that gets generated at some point gets filled. Okay, so right now, I would say on the daily chart, we still remain in bearish structure, but we're starting to see signs of life from the bulls. Okay. Starting to see some life from the bulls here with this developing bullish candle off of an area that I would expect to be supportive based on what I see on the left-hand side of the chart. Okay. Based on the left-hand side of the chart, I see that this area has in the past has been supportive, right? We have a push up here, another one here. The same could happen in this location as well. Okay. Looking at the 4-hour chart. 4-hour chart. Here we are. Looking at this a little bit more closely, we're starting to see a sloping, ADI indicator or ADX momentum DI, the positive DI kind of sloping higher. We're seeing the negative kind of lose some steam. Honestly, this is not a bad location. Okay. We're seeing, I guess when we get to the lower time frames, we'll start to see that maybe there's a little bit of a double bottom that's being established here. You can see here already in the 4-hour that might be a possibility here, right? We got a push up, back down, another push up. So maybe this is going to be the leg that kind of leads us back to fill this gap and maybe get up to our 233-day EMA. Okay, but first things first, we need to close, right? We need to close above this level. Okay. All right, moving on to the 30-minute chart. Okay, so looking at the 30-minute chart, I'm seeing to see if this W pattern that I was kind of highlighting is a little bit clearer. It's a little bit messy. I have to say that this is not the cleanest of double bottoms that I've seen ever in my life. Okay, so it's actually a bit messy. All right, now we are getting a bit of a reaction away from this 233-day EMA here. Okay, it came up to the 233-day EMA and has since rejected. Okay, so what to make of that? Well, to make of that is if that holds, right, we can use the 233-day EMA for a possible opportunity to the downside. Now, what's counter to that view is the fact that we are currently sloping. We have a sloping average daily range. Okay, price is currently above that range. All right. So, and then the other thing that I might add to this is let's kind of stretch this out here. We're going to go ahead. What time is this? This is yesterday morning. Here we had a clear pivot. So I'm going to go ahead and identify it here. All right. So again, we have two indications, three indications. Okay, that there's an opportunity for price to continue higher. Okay, so we've reached a point, or maybe this is also maybe ADR here. Yeah, sure enough, we have ADR. We've exhausted some ranges here to the upside. Okay, so again, like I said, the things that I add to my chart, they're added there for a reason, because price tends to react away from them, right? So we have this EMA, price reacts away. We have our ADR high, price reacts away. Okay, there's reasons why these things are on my charts, right? They offer me locations for executions where I can manage my risk. Okay, all right. So let's go ahead and add here the levels that we're tracking before I go do more additional analysis on this market. Okay. Now, as a reminder, guys, we all know that today is EIA, right? Inventory report. Okay, so which that could cause some volatility in the markets. Okay, so that's something to be made aware of here. I'm going to go ahead now and open up my fixed range volume profile. I'm going to locate the open from yesterday here. It looks like it's right about here. And I'm going to drag that across to the close of today, or yesterday, I should say, right about there. And you can see that price is above value as well. Okay, so a lot of metrics that we care about are above the market. Value, price above it. Anchor VWAP, daily VWAP, price above it. The only thing that maybe is counter to that view is location, right? Right now we have price reacting away from EMA, price reacting from ADR. Okay, so let's go ahead and double confirm some of our levels here. We have a value area high at 60, 67, 60. Okay, I had it at 57. I'm going to go ahead and adjust that to 60. Okay. All right. And let's see what else. Value area low, we're going to add that here at 66.96. Value area low, 66.96, 66.95. Okay, looks might have been a little bit of a typo here. 95. Okay, and then we have point of control at 67.22. 67.22, that's not too far off the 67.19. Okay, and then settlement price is at 67.49. That looks all in order. The only thing that really remains for me to add here is ASR. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and add my ASR levels. Okay, so we're right around that settlement price, or not settlement, but EMA. So 68.73. 68.73, that's my average session range high. 68.73 on the high end, and then we have 66.98. 66.98 to the downside. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and copy this. Okay. And add it to this, my spreadsheet. Okay. All right. Okay. All right. So I'm good. I'm good, Zaf. So again, what to make of this market? Well, right now we're getting some reaction away. Now the question for me, this is probably a little bit too late for me, but let's go ahead and open up initial balance here. Initial balance is officially opened. Okay, we're just going to modify this to a different color here. Okay, change this to yellow. I have too much blue already, so we're going to change this to yellow. Okay, so there's our initial balance range that's being established here. Navigate this market down a little bit. Okay, so we are getting a little bit of reaction. I would say that my initial kind of, if it had this orange range, yeah. Yeah, so we have a little bit of a reaction away from ADR. My opportunity on this would have been, my target would have been VWAP, right? So I'm a little hesitant to go short on and with VWAP so close, and then VWAP, daily VWAP has been supportive up until as of recently, right? So I'm not really super keen to kind of jump in on a short right away without maybe some further evidence. Okay, so I'm going to be waiting. I'm going to be waiting to see if maybe price does close below initial balance. Okay, if it does close initial balance, then maybe we can go back down to the lows of the market, back down to London. Okay, the lows of London. Okay, it's certainly not out of the question here. Okay, so but I do need to see price break, some structure here. Okay, so I do have some reaction away from this ASR high and my EMA, but I've still, my channel technically has not been broken, okay, to the downside yet. Okay, not to say that it can't, but it hasn't. Okay, so I don't play possible. I play happened. Okay, so I don't play the fact that, oh, this is about to make that break. No, I don't play that. All right, I play for confirmation. So I wait for confirmation of price away from event, and then I react. So I don't try to preempt or predict, or I let price tell me when it's time. Right now, it's telling me it's not time. There's still some buyers in this market. Okay, so once I get my price to close below some of these levels, then I take action. Okay, that once I've received confirmation. Again, that's a little bit style here, guys. Okay, if you have other ways of executing your trades and it's working for you, keep doing that. What I'm communicating is how I go about keeping my mind and emotions away from my decision process. All right. Okay, so right now I would say that maybe there might be an opportunity that's developing to the short side. I would say in crude oil, but I still need to see some further evidence of that. Otherwise, did I catch the short yesterday? Yes, I caught part of it. I caught part of it. I got a little impatient with it and closed it probably a little bit prematurely. Okay. All right. Let's see. I think that's pretty much what I wanted to say about crude oil here, guys. So it'll be interesting to see how this current candle closes. I'm going to take a peek here at the 30-minute and the 15-minute, right? So we got a nice engulfing candle here. So yeah, everything in here is pointing to the possibility of further price action lower. Okay, I have to admit. All right, yeah, everybody did, right? Okay. Yeah, I got a little bit impatient. I got a little bit impatient with it. Wasn't moving the way I wanted it to move, and I decided to cut the trade. Okay. All right. So again, guys. So again, I just need maybe a couple pieces of additional confirmation here for me to potentially execute a trade to the downside. I do understand that we do have EIA, which could, throw a wrench in the works. So any trade that I do entertain before that, I have to understand that I'm going to be flat before EIA. But yes, I do see a nice opportunity here. Okay. Yeah. Anchor VWAP is below us, Alejandro. Okay. This baby blue line is below us. Now, if you want to create an anchor VWAP, maybe that's closer to the markets, then maybe you can use this one here. All right. But you can see that price is now below that, right? Below the low of London. All right. So again, this could be an indication that we could see some price action. Now, if we do not break, right, we do not break this level and we start to kind of create a little bit of a rally, then maybe we change our tune and maybe we continue to the upside. Okay. But this feels to me a little bit bearish. Okay. But I'm not going to let my view, my emotions, or whatever my perception dictate. I'm going to let price tell me. All right. If I get the price event that I'm looking for, then I'll execute a trade. If I don't get what I'm looking for, I sit on my hands. Okay. Simple as that. Okay. I've learned a long time ago not to trust sometimes not to trust my gut. All right. Because sometimes my gut is not 100% correct. Okay. Magic level is 67.61. Magic level is 67.61. What is that magic level? 67.61. Is that VWAP? Is that your magic level, Frizu? Okay. All right. Let's move on while I wait for Frizu to give me my answer here. But I suspect that maybe he's commenting on value area high. Oh, okay. That's possible. Value area high for me is a little bit lower. Oh, there it is. Value area high, 67.61. Yeah, that might not be a bad location to take an execution to the upside, right? Right? Yeah, 67, 68, 70. Okay. Is a low volume node. Okay, that's above here. All right. That's above this area here. It's a low volume node. So that could potentially act as resistance, right? Right. So any case, let's move on to the NASDAQ here. Okay. Yeah, a lot to talk about in the crude oil. A lot of interesting levels at the moment. So let's go ahead and close some of these indicators. Okay. And let's take a look and see what the market is trying to accomplish here. All right. Looking at the daily chart here. Okay. So again, not the cleanest of moves to the upside, but up we go. Okay. This is kind of typical NASDAQ price action, right? A lot of wicks on both ends, right? bucking everybody in its path. Okay. So again, looking from left to right, you have to admit, as much as you'd like to short this market, and as much as you think that the market is overextended, okay, the market still continues to go higher. Okay. As much as you'd like to short this market, right? We are still sloping higher. All right. 4-hour chart. Okay. 4-hour chart, we're starting to see a little bit of a hook here, a little hook pattern. Okay. So is this going to be, kind of an indication that we could see some price move lower? Certainly possible. Okay. I would say that if this candle closes below this area here, this area was prior resistance. We've exceeded it. Now we've come back to it. If we don't find any new buyers, yes, this is going to come back down to test whoever this person was. Okay. So it seems logical that it will come back down to 517. Okay. Before potentially we see any sort of significant move to the upside. Okay. That's kind of how, if we cannot hold this level, if we cannot hold 2672, then I see that that's very much in the cards. Okay. 30-minute chart. 30-minute chart, just looking at price action, guys. Okay. What is price action is telling us? Well, we see that the price is below our daily VWAP. Okay. That's supportive of further bearish move. Okay. I'm trying to see if there's any area here that would cause what we're seeing right now. And I don't know if this is necessarily the most consolidated area that I've seen in my life, okay, to generate this kind of move, okay. But again, you can see here we have a very nice consolidation area, and then finally we got the bullish move that maybe some folks were expecting, okay. So this, I would say, this area around here would be a logical area. I might even want to set an alert for myself around this area here, okay, because this would be an area that I would not mind taking an execution to the upside, okay, this area down here. All right, now in the meantime, that means that maybe there's a possibility I could maybe take a short down to that level. But given the general direction of the market, we probably have to be careful with that kind of trade, because it's a little bit, although the higher time frame is supportive of that, it is a little bit counter to the general market. Okay, so any short trade, well, would have to be pretty nimble. Okay, um, um, just because of the general tone and direction of the market. But certainly, the series of candles that we're seeing here, I'm seeing on the 4-hour, and I'm now seeing on the 30-minute. That certainly is not out of the question that we can come back down to this level here. Okay. All right. Looking at the ADR. Okay. So here's another kind of magic level. Okay. This level down here, 20,600. Okay. If I remain bullish on this market, okay, this 20,600 could be an area where we rebound to back to the upside. Okay. Let's open up ASR. Okay, ASR, that's actually the bottom. Let's open this up for London here. Okay, so here we are. We've already reached ASR low from London. Okay, so here again, couple of areas here that could support a potential move to the upside. I say could. There's nothing definitive. Okay. All right. Let's go ahead and add our levels to this chart. Okay. We're going to go ahead and add our levels and then double confirm them. The last thing there's a couple things I still need to do here. So here are our levels that I have here on the right. I'm going to go ahead and turn off the overlay here for a moment. Okay. I always like to keep track of what the higher time frame is doing. Okay. That's why I have the higher time frame overlay on my bottom right of my charts. Okay, so I still need to do my volume profile, because as Frizu mentioned, value area high, value area lows are these magic levels. Okay, these magic levels that cause price to reverse or be accepted in. So we're going to go ahead and locate start of the market here, and we're going to go ahead and drag this across here. Okay, and maybe we are inside value. Okay, so maybe we are in the midst of a potential value area acceptance. Okay, play, right? We got price that was slightly above, could not go any higher. Now we may get price to accept value, maybe as low as value area low. Okay, so we have a couple of areas of confluence here. We have our ADR low and we have our value area low. That could be an area that we could find some support. Okay, and then I think this level here was just prior demand area, right? That could possibly, so these areas right here where it's at right now, slightly below at maybe 20,600, maybe as low as this prior area of demand, could be logical locations for longs. Okay. All right. Let's see. Anything else I'm overlooking? Well, I guess the last thing I probably, and this is probably what Alejandro is waiting for me to do, and that is where would I put my anchored VWAP? Well, I'm going to use London again. Okay, so my anchored VWAP is similar to my daily VWAP. Okay, price right now is below. Okay, now if I'm going to get bullish on this market, as it stands right now, I would need price to get above 20,745, okay, to really embrace a long, okay? I need to see price break structure to the upside, okay? It needs to break structure to the upside in order for me to embrace a long right now, okay? Okay, I think that's pretty much what I wanted to say about the Nasdaq. We'll go ahead and move into the ES. We'll go ahead and expand this view here. Settlement is a bit lower. Let's see, settlement. Yeah, settlement is a bit lower to that. Yeah, so again, if I'm going to entertain bullish, I want to be above these levels. I want to be above settlement. I want to be above my anchored and my daily VWAP. Okay. If I'm bullish, that's I want price to be above those levels. If I'm below it, I have to my edge goes to the bears. Okay. All right. Moving on to the ES. Okay. So we're going to head and turn off some of these levels here. Okay. And we're going to take a look at the daily and see what the daily is telling us. And the daily is telling us a bunch of overlap. It's in consolidation of some sort, right? You can see here we're developing some sort of, I don't know, flag, triangle, name your pattern. Wrong number on sheet. Oh, I have the settlement price. Yeah, is incorrect. Okay. I will update that. Let's see. We'll do that now. Let's see. 20,708. Yeah, you're right. 20,708 is incorrect. Or 20,507 is incorrect. So 708, 25. Okay. Let's update that. Okay. Good call out, Frizu. So let's make sure I get that updated. Okay. All right. Let's go back to my ES here. All right. So, pick your pattern here. Okay. We are a little bit of an overlapping price here. You can call this maybe a triangle pattern of some sort, maybe even a flag pattern. I'm going to go ahead and go with my trusty channel. Okay. Something along these lines. Okay. Flag pattern. Okay. You're welcome, Frizu. Ooh, that's a loaded question, Sav. Let me finish up my view of yeah, it's a Dorito pattern. Let me finish my view of ES and maybe come back to your question. Okay. All right. So on the daily, you can see that we are very much in a bullish trend. I would say that we're probably in consolidation of late. Maybe we remain in consolidation. Maybe we remain in consolidation up until the elections. We'll have to see. Okay. So let's move to the 4-hour chart. Okay. 4-hour chart. Again, we are in this kind of consolidation range here. We have maybe a start of a series of candles that may indicate that maybe there's some pressure to the downside. Looking at the ADX. ADX may be telling us the same. We have a sloping up ADX. Our DI of our negative DI is kind of poking higher, and we're starting to see that maybe there might be some legs behind this potential move to the downside. Okay, that's what the ADX, and then we have a negative volume delta. All right, so right now things are pointing that maybe there might be some downside auction potential in the crude oil, not crude oil, ES. Okay, you can see that our ADX indicator is a strong push in the positive direction. Our negative DI is also pointing up, and our positive DI is pointing down. Recipe for further downside. Okay. All right. Let's continue to analyze this. So we'll start with our fixed range volume profile. We'll locate the 630 bar, drag that across. to the 430 bar. All right, so we're coming into the low end of value. Okay, so we've heard that value area acceptance play has already kind of played out, I would say. So this is kind of an interesting area for me. Is value area low going to hold? Okay, here, or are we going to explore further prices to the downside? Okay. Let's look at where our ADR are. We have an ADR low here coming in at 58.57. Let's go ahead and add our levels here, guys. Have those into my spreadsheet here. Okay, ADR low. Okay, so there's our levels. We have ADR high coming in at 58.93. 58.93. I actually have it a little bit higher, looks like, is at 59.09. So let's go ahead and modify that. 59.09, 909. And then ADR low is coming in at 58.57. So ADR low, 58.57. Okay. And then we'll go ahead and take a look at ASR here. Okay, this is going to open up here relatively shortly. We're going to move it to London for now. Okay, but expect this to change. Okay, so we're right up against the low, 58.62. So I'm going to modify that here. That's ASR low, 58.62, 62, not 3, 2. Okay, and then ASR high is coming in at 5,900. 5,900, nice round number. Okay, 25 technically. Okay. And then let's see the magic levels, as Frizu puts it. 58.82 is our value area high. Actually, 58.82 is our value area high. 58.82. Okay, value area low coming in at 58.62. That's close enough. Point of control, 58.79. That's close enough as well. Our settlement price is below it at 58.71. Okay, is our settlement. Okay. And so, yeah, so right now I would have to say that I would probably give an edge to the shorts, even though I am coming into an area where I could expect maybe some reversal in price. That doesn't mean just because I'm bearish that I'm just going to pick any sort of random location to participate, right? So I'm bearish. So what am I going to be looking for? What am I going to be looking for? If I'm bearish in the market, but I really don't like the location of that currently, what do I need to do? This is a quiz question for people. I need to wait for what? You need to wait. You need to wait for price to get to a location where you can better manage your risk. Where would that location be? Yeah, pullback, right? Wait for a pullback. Wait for a pullback up to VWAP, right? And then look for your trade, okay, to the downside. Find a place where you can better manage your risk. Don't sell retail. And especially at an area where we could expect a little bit of a pullback, a little bit of a reversal. Okay, so that's kind of that's what my my hypo is. Maybe even it comes back to settlement at some point later, and that will offer me an opportunity for a continuation move to the downside. Okay, so that's my plan. Okay, all right. With about 5 minutes to go here, guys, we're going to take a quick look at the Dow. Take a quick look at the Dow, and then we'll close off and maybe come back to the question that was posed to me. Let's turn this off, turn everything off. Let's try to turn everything off here. All right. Okay. So let's see. We're going to go ahead and open up the daily and ask ourselves a question. What is the market trying to accomplish? What is the market trying to accomplish? Well, the market is really trying to head lower, I think, based on the series of candles that we're seeing here. It appears that the Dow wants to head lower. Okay. That's kind of what I'm seeing. All right. Now, where could it stop? Well, we have a level here. Okay. This level here is an area where price could stall. Okay. Right about there. Okay. So that could be a logical area for price to kind of reverse off of. If we break that level, then I would say that we're coming back down to 40,800. Okay. That's what I'm seeing on the daily. Okay. Moving on to the 4-hour chart. 4-hour chart, here we are. Again, we're starting to make a series of higher highs and our lower lows and lower highs. Okay. We're coming into an area where we could see some support. Okay. Widen this out here a little bit. Our ADX indicator is telling us that there's still a fair amount of strength to the downside. Our ADX indicator is starting to curl up here. We have a negative volume delta. So yeah, I would say that bears are still very much in control of this market. Not seeing overt signs of really strong bullish behavior. Okay. So moving on to the 30-minute chart, we'll start to capture a couple of these levels here, guys, for you. So I've already established a level where I would want to be potentially looking for a long, okay, down to this level. All right. I'm seeing that I'm seeing a negatively sloped 80 VWAP. Let's see what this level is. This is yesterday morning. We have London also. So we're going to go ahead and add our anchored VWAP here to the start of London right here. You can see that price is below both of those, anchored and daily. Okay. Don't have any necessarily any levels established here, guys. So you can see how price went to the average daily range low and stalled. Okay, so here we are. So now is this a momentary rest for a continuation move to the downside? Certainly possible. We're at a level now where we could potentially manage our risk. Whoever this person was, I think carried a fair amount of a cachet of strength. Okay, so let's call out some of these levels. Okay, so we have over here, we have what is that? We have ADR high. Let's call it at 42,727 is our ADR high. Okay, and then let's see, we got ADR low coming in at 42,323. 42,323 is our ADR low. And then as Frizu has so eloquently coined our magic levels, let's locate our magic levels. So let's drag this across to this. And our magic levels are 42,560 on the high end. Okay, value area high. So 42,560 is our value area high. We have point of control coming in at 42,506. 42,506 is our POC. And value area low is coming in at 42,429. 42,429 is our value area low. Okay. Yeah. So those are some levels that we'll be watching. Again, guys, looks like it looks like the market has indeed opened. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and open up our initial balance, and we're getting a relatively strong reaction away from anchored VWAP, which is, I guess, to some degree potentially expected. But I'm not going to jump at the first wiggle, guys. I'm going to wait for this initial balance range to establish. and then look maybe to potentially take an execution. Okay, so let's open this up here, change this to yellow. Okay, there it is. Okay, so we'll just wait for this initial balance. Right now, I would say that the path of least resistance is to the short side. Okay, we've identified some levels below us where we could be interested on the long side, but right now I would say that this market is looking to head lower. Okay, we have value at 42,422, value area low, or 420. That could serve as kind of a line in the sand. Bearish below that level. Okay, bullish if we manage to close inside. All right. So let's take a gander at XAV's question here. So it says, Coach Ray, what's your opinion on the current upcoming events, NFP, and then the election? Well, I would say that the elections are a roll of the dice. Okay, there's a reason why Top Step is shutting down all funded traders. Okay, on election day. Okay, they're not allowing folks to trade on election day. Okay, just because of the heightened awareness of the possibility of some wild moves, okay, that could affect the markets. Okay, so my recommendation to you is I'm not gonna say, okay, well, if you're a Trump supporter, you should be looking to go long or short. Okay, I'm not going to go down that route. What I'm going to tell you is that you're probably better served in just watching the markets. Okay, and letting the news, NFP, elections, whatever the case may be, kind of play itself out. Okay, and then once everything is kind of digested, then and only then should you be looking for opportunities. I don't think it is advisable, guys, to trade during the election. Okay, or during or as the results are being I think it's more theater. Okay, if you want to pull up a chair and watch, okay, the markets, I think that's perfectly reasonable. But I would highly recommend that you sit and that it's not only elections. Okay, it's any news event that could affect the markets, right? Anything. Yes, I use the 30-minute chart to set my volume profile. That is correct. Okay. All right. All right, guys. Well, yeah. Hopefully that's your answer. Again, I don't think there's any particular advantage one way or the other. If there's a Kamala Harris win or a Trump win, then there's really nothing. Wow, GC dropped 166. Okay, well, some news event happened. Okay. All right, guys. Well, that's it for me, guys. Hopefully that helps a little bit. I would again recommend, for those folks who are, maybe thinking that maybe that's an opportunity. The news event is going to allow them to make a lot of money in a short period of time. I would caution against that, guys. The markets could get quite volatile, and it could get quite volatile to the point that you may not even be able to place your orders. Your orders may not get filled. Right? There is no worse feeling than not being able to exit out of a trade, okay, because of volatility or because of some issues with your platform. So yeah, my recommendation is sit that out, sit on the sidelines, let the big boys play and decide on where they want to take the market, and then let us all be hyenas. Okay, we'll pick up the scraps. Okay. All right, guys. That's it for me. So again, we have EIA coming up here in about an hour. So for those crude oil traders, sit on the sidelines. Okay. For everyone else, trade well, trade safe, trade like a market pro, be a market be a market trader. Yes, absolutely, Sergey. I'm going to be a lazy lion. I'm just going to let the theater happen, and then after the things settle down, then I'll come back to the market. I'll come back to the markets. Not during that time. That's just way too much effort for my lazy lion mentality. Okay. All right, guys. I'll see some of you in Coach's Ray's room. I'm going to take a peek here and see what's going on with gold, and see if there's an opportunity there for me to take advantage of. Otherwise, either I'll see you in the coach's room, or I'll see you later today in group coaching. Until then, trade well, trade safe, trade like a market pro. Talk to you guys soon.